Good morning, guys. Chris Kavnar here with the Kavnar Group at Keller Williams Realty. Doing what we love and loving what we do here on a Monday morning early. Wanted to take a few minutes to talk about the 10 deadly mistakes buyers make when purchasing a home. So the first one is choosing a non-relational agent. Look, guys, when you're out there buying a home, if you haven't done it before, it is a lot of conversation, a lot of talking that is needed, and a lot of discussing what your needs are, what your hopes are, and what your goals are, right? So if you have a non-relational broker, they may not be concerned about your needs. They may not be asking you and trying to help you figure out what is going to make the perfect home for you. So choose a broker you're comfortable with. Always make sure that they care about your needs. And a few ways to do that is think about it during your first meeting with them. How many questions did they ask you about what your needs are and what your wants are? Okay, so number two, not getting pre-qualified before making an offer. This is a very important one. And look, guys, when you start the buying process or when you even start thinking about buying a home, call us, call your broker, your real estate broker if you don't have a bank that you would like to go with or a lender, and they should be able to give you some great referrals to mortgage brokers and lenders that they've worked for that have done great work for themselves and their clients. But do this the moment you start thinking about buying a home. Don't go to get pre-qualified when you think you've found the home you want to buy. At that point, it's a little late, right? So we always recommend to our buyers when they're first referred to us or if they're family and friends, we're like, hey, let's connect you with a mortgage broker, even if you're 3 or 4 months out. Let's have them run your credit, fill out an application, and there may be some things you need to work on, right? I know for us it's happened. We bought and sold homes all the time, but sometimes when we meet with that mortgage lender to make our purchase, there's a couple things we need to work on, right? So very important, get pre-qualified before you start the home shopping process. That way you're buyer strong and locked and loaded to make that offer. Not knowing all the costs is number three, and these are in order of importance, okay? The worst thing you could possibly do is make an offer, get under contract, go through inspections, get the appraisal, and a week before closing, you get that cash needed to close number from your lender, and you're like, uh-oh, I can't afford this. I don't have this much cash in the bank to make this purchase. So your mortgage lender should, in the very forefront of getting pre-qualified, send you some disclosures and kind of go over, based on your qualification level, what payment you're comfortable with, what your cash needed to close number will be, and then detail what those costs are going to. Very important. Have them detail what those costs are going to, because a lot of times there are some costs in there that can be negotiated with your mortgage lender that aren't necessarily needed and can save you a lot of money. But if you don't ask, they're going to charge them. So know the costs. Two sides to that: mortgage broker, your mortgage loan, and then your real estate broker really should go through and do an analysis of all the costs that are involved in a real estate transaction. One good way to do that is ask your broker before you go out and start shopping, hey, can you go over a typical purchase agreement and discuss with us all the costs that might be involved with a sale? Some of those costs are negotiable, some of them aren't. Some of them are typical costs a buyer just has to pay to purchase a home. So know your costs. That way you're not shopping for something you can't purchase and there's no surprises right before closing. Next is limiting your home search. Many buyers want to limit their home search to a small area to exactly what they think they want to buy. And look, we love it when a buyer knows what they want and they're ready to go out. They're very detailed. They know what their deal breakers are, right? But I'm going to tell you a story about a client who started as a client, now is one of my really good friends. We helped him relocate from West Virginia to New Mexico, and this was a few years back. And he knew exactly what he wanted. Very articulated gentleman. And I had made some recommendations. I'm like, hey, before you come out, are you interested in this area? Based on what you're telling me, I think this will really fit your needs. And no, I don't want to go to that area. I don't want to see this style of home. I was like, okay, cool. So he came out to New Mexico, him and his wife, and we went home shopping. And we looked all over the state. But the home he ended up buying was in an area that he said no to. He didn't even want to look. And it was a style of home that he said he absolutely was not interested in. And at closing, after getting the keys to his home, he looked at me and said, "Chris, buyers are liars." And I was kind of stumped. I'm like, "What do you mean? You're the buyer here." And he said, "I ended up loving this house that we just bought, and it was nothing like what I had told you I really wanted." So buyers are liars. So that's a great story. Don't limit your search. You never know. You may walk into a home you think you won't like and love it. So don't limit it. Thinking there is only one perfect home for you falls in that same category, right? There's a ton of, every home is different. They're all unique. They all have their own character and flow about them. So don't close your mind around one type of home. You may end up finding something that you love more than what you even thought, and it's totally different from what you wanted to buy in the first place. Number 6, not considering the long-term needs. This is important, guys, and we're all very short-sighted to an extent, whether it's when we're buying the home or thinking about right now, what do I need right at this moment? Maybe you're thinking, what am I going to need in 3 years or 5 years, right? But ask your real estate broker, hey, what things should I be thinking about in the long term when deciding on the purchase of a home? And they'll guide you through that process if they're the right broker for you. Number 7, not researching the community. Look, guys, you can't buy a home, get the keys, move in, and then give the house back because something's going on in the community that you just can't live with, right? So do the drive-bys, drive through the communities. There's so much information online. Do your research, right, on different areas that you're looking at homes in so that you have no surprises after closing about the community, the schools, their rankings, what's going on as far as parks and community centers. So just do your homework and it'll really benefit you in the long run. Number 8. Wow, we honestly have never had a client do this, but skipping a home inspection. Even if you're paying for the home inspection, even if you decide to waive your right to get out of contract based on the home inspections because you want to be competitive with your offer, which we don't recommend, but sometimes buyers like to do that. They really want the property, but do not skip the home inspection. It's very important to us with our clients, our friends and family, when we're serving them. Our first part of our job is to educate. And part of that education is inspecting that home top to bottom, left to right, so that you have all the information you need to make an educated decision on that home. There very well may be problems with the sewer line. A lot of people don't get the sewer scope inspection. So talk to your broker. Please, please, please don't skip the home inspection no matter the cost. Get it done so you know what you're buying. Overlooking insurance issues is number 9. Now, very rarely do we run into a home that is uninsurable, right? Unless the ceiling's fallen in and you're an investor and it's a renovation project, typically all homes are insurable. One of the problems you run into, though, is the cost of that insurance. So if you have an old roof that's 20 years old, it's going to raise your homeowner's insurance. And for first-time home buyers, that